Hey, happy day after the day. Woo! How was your Christmas, Bobby?
I think it's Boxing Day in Britain, right?
Or Canada?
I don't acknowledge
Which
anything
one does
Canada does.
Boxing Day?
I think they both do because Canada's still England's little bitch.
Do we know what
Although I did
boxing
learn,
means?
I think it's the day you return all your shit.
No, they didn't
There's,
call it that. It's been around
yeah,
forever.
yeah, you put it in a box.
Put it in a box.
I don't know. I did learn that Canada's the reason for the Geneva Rules of Warfare because of the
What?
crimes they
No.
committed in World War One. Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Canada?
they did some real fucked up shit.
What? What'd they do?
They learned the Germans' food supply line was fucked up, and they were like, "Hey, we hear you boys are starving to death, so we're gonna just donate some food. It's in a free area. Come get it whenever you want." And then they just sat there and picked them off.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not their fault. They're just nice, I guess, to a fault.
Nice to a fault, except for the fact that they then sniped all the Germans, is what I'm saying. Like they said, it's perfectly safe. They like sent formal address, like, "Hey, we won't do this," and then just killed them all when they got there.
Well, way to go, Canada.
And then
But
they
I
put
like
those
people.
Germans home in a box. So it must be that's why we call it Boxing Day. Because go home, you fucking krauts.
I was talking to a Uber driver when I was in there, and he was telling me how, he likes bringing people around. He doesn't mind Uber Eats, but he doesn't like that one option where you could just like send packages to people. I'm like, yeah, you're a drug dealer, and he's like, yeah, I've also had to. He goes, he just gives this up. He goes, I also had to bring wine to children, and I'm like, what? And he's like, they ordered it, I guess. They tell me that I've gotta be the one who has them check their ID and sign it because I'm not working for fucking. I don't give a shit about this. You already paid for it. Here's your booze, kids.
Life is so much easier for children now.
Yes
Dude,
and no. It's easier to get. You can get things and you can see things more. But I think because of all that access, kids don't enjoy learning things. Like they all think they know how to fuck because like porn. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They all think they know how to do everything is just YouTube. I could just go on this thing and I can build a house. I can fuck, but they never learn a craft or learn how to do anything. They just it's a tutorial. They read the recipe, but they don't cook the food. If you know what I mean, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it really is a social contract because it's basically like just don't say the N word and you have access to all these fun technologies. And it's like, is it worth the trade? I don't know. I don't know how many times you flung it around in your childhood, Pat, but would have been a lot of quiet times in Bobby's.
I never flung it around. I said it one time ever in my life, but I didn't say it the way you're supposed to. I said it with the word sand in front of it at a guy, and he threw a desk at me, and then I got suspended and he didn't.
So he acted like a terrorist after you accused him of being one. That's pretty fucked up.
But better, he even said to the teacher, "I don't know why I'm not suspended. I was an idiot too." He was mad. Like we resolved it like right after, but they're like, "No, you can't do that." And he's like, "Well, it's not even really a thing."
This was
He's like, I was
pre,
mad, but that's not a thing.
and this was pre 2001, I'm guessing.
This is 1993.
Dude, if it had been 8 years later, buddy, you would have not only been not suspended, you would have been valedictorian of your class.
Yep. My initials wouldn't be PO, they'd be USA. USA. That'd be it.
Boys, we found our Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, so I do think, yeah, like you said, I think people do have it easier in one way, not the other, but like, I don't know. I would rather grow up now than the way, I know a lot of people say the opposite way. Like, if you grew up with the game Simon and like a guy molesting you, you grew up right or whatever. Like no, like it was a very scary time. If you look back, it really looked like the Wild West to people from the wild. Like from when I grew up, you look at the Wild West, and you're like, there's no rules. Kids that are alive now look at when I grew up, like you could just go outside and get lost and like fucking. You had no way of knowing when people were coming to your home or doing these things. You couldn't. You had to like. You couldn't ask anyone a question you knew the answer to because they could just lie. Like, how many people just said, I know everything about World War II, and they knew nothing, but I guess you had to read a book. You couldn't just search it. There was so much lying and scamming and conniving. Like there is scams nowadays online, but you could just literally lie and there's no one to go check. Like it really was. We are their Wild West.
That's fair. That is a good point. Like internet at the tip of your fingertips, but like then it's a lot easier for the predators to get to you. It's basically like the same problems, just through a different lens.
I don't know because yes, it is easier, but it's also harder because everyone talks about like the fact that you even said that right away. We all think about it even more. It is more aware. There are parents talking to their kids about, not saying it still can't happen or whatever, but there's more talk about it in a free way. We joke now. Nobody talked about child molesters or pedophiles. No one said those words. They literally, I know it's an old Louis C.K. bit, but it is true. You just said, stay away from that guy's house. He gets weird with kids. But you just said it like it was real. Like I knew a couple people that they were like, yeah, that guy really does weird shit to kids or he's fucking off, but he just got to live in his home and no one gave a fuck. And if you did get fucked with by him, they're like, we told you to stay away.
I see your point, but I raise you the fact that people have been caught multiple times on To Catch a Predator, which means that there's so much predatory behavior online that they were like, there's no way I get caught twice.
Yeah, but To Catch a Predator was on at the very beginning of the internet too, so it's like it's not really even on now. It was back in the day, but it was like the very beginnings of that. But the setup and the police things and all that stuff really were more for television than it was for online. And we had television.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't really. Yes, now we can find them out better, but that really wasn't TV. Online thing, even before the show comes out, you can figure it out. Merry Christmas, Kish. We're starting the way you're supposed to, but me and Bobby are talking about the right ways and wrong ways to catch a kid or whatever.
Here comes the man in black.
Whoa. Galaxy Defenders?
Yeah.
Is that the words? I don't.
That's who's going to save us from the pedophiles. Here, kids, you weren't dwinked.
Tell you right now, I'm pretty safe from pedophiles. The simple fact that I'm 49. I'm pretty fucking safe.
In this life.
Oh, do you for real? I know you don't because you're a religious man, but you don't believe in reincarnation, do you?
Have you ever seen the movie Rudy?
Yes. Not all the way through, but I know the gist.
There's a great line in there by the priest when Rudy asked him a question. He goes, son, in this life, I've learned two things. There is a God, and I'm not him.
I'm trying to think. Can you talk into the mic a little more? I just couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
There is a God, and I'm not him.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I think maybe. I like to think if there is a God, he wouldn't send somebody to hell. He'd give them a chance to relearn their lessons.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That is a W. You know what I mean? That is a big, it's got to feel good. But then also, then you're just like, if you're a young looking 18-year-old, it's like, now there's not as much problems. Like, it's just regular rape.
If you're a gay looking 18-year-old, who's that
teen.
same thing, suddenly the predator or the prey becomes the predator.
Oh. I don't
you start
think that's
luring those guys, and then you butt fuck them.
No, I know
Steal
a lot
all
of gay
their
men
power.
only like to fuck old people. It's not, gays and pedophiles aren't the same thing.
Right, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to, now you got them.
Yeah, but also same thing for lesbos.
Mm-hmm.
I think lesbos are more aggressive.
I think it's hotter, to be honest with you.
No, you're thinking of the different kinds.
He's calling you he's a big fan of yours, I believe.
I just have my glasses on. I'm like, all I see is my name, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting shit on. But
Justin says he's never been
Mason
18
Portland.
years old.
Okay, well, no, dude, these are rules. Mason Portland fucking writes a bunch of crazy shit in all the podcasts I watch, Brendan and all that stuff. What's up, dude?
We got Scott in the chat.
Scott's fun. But I was in an Uber. My son was with me in the Uber. And, Bobby, you've been around me enough to know that when I say this stuff, it is true. People just really do come up to me and say wild shit. Like, it's not like, I know with comics, like, oh, the craziest things happen. I'm not looking for it.
Why don't you take a seat in that chair?
Yeah, all the time. They're always like, take a seat. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll take the seat, but show me the kid. Like, what the fuck? At least let me see it quick. But we're in the Uber, and this guy's like, "You want to hear some wild stories?" And of course, me and my son are like, "Yeah, we want to hear some fucking wild stories." And the guy's like, he goes, "Yeah, one time this guy was in the car, and he just goes to me, I got a piercing on my penis." And then the driver pauses and goes, "And I know what he wanted me to ask if I wanted to see it. I'm not falling for that again." Again. But then I said, "What was the first time?" And he kind of just moved on. And I'm like, if someone told you they had a pierced penis, would you want to see it?
I've never wanted to see a penis in my life.
Do you want to see a pierced anything? Do you care what's pierced? Do people, you know what? That's a
No,
question.
I like a pierced
real
ear.
quick. While we're talking, everybody watching, do you like pierced genitals? If you're a guy and like a girl, do you like pierced pussy, pierced titties? Or do you want nothing on that shit? Bobby, sorry, go ahead.
Not genitalia.
Where do you
But
want?
like I wouldn't mind a nipple piercing. If it makes you feel beautiful, it doesn't bother me.
Me?
You know what I mean? Like the girl.
Oh. I was like,
You know, I'm a big fan of you make yourself feel beautiful and you'll put that beauty out into the world. So if that's what you need to feel good that day, pierce them titties.
but if you need a pierce, and I'm not against it, I'm just going devil's advocate on what you just said. If you need a piercing to feel beautiful, then you are not beautiful.
That people are complex beings. You never know what's going
They're
on
not.
in somebody's head.
Most people are just stupid
You know,
dopes.
Maybe some guy's looking like he's on the borderline of taking steroids, but every day he looks in the mirror and sees a fat fuck. So now he's going to take some HGH because Dominic in the chat is the only person who sent him money to buy steroids. So thank you for a good Christmas, Dominic.
Can you read that?
One of my classmates used to tell girls he had a piercing, but he was lying just so they would look. He was uncut, though.
Okay, well, I don't want to, but I've never in person seen a uncut penis. If someone said to me, you have to look at one, a pierced one or an uncut one, I hope that guy
Pierced.
never comes around me again. Like, why is that guy offering me those two things?
Well, I mean, if it's an uncut penis, there's a good chance it's a fuzzy muzzy, and he's going to cut your head off for being gay because you looked at his dick.
Uncut penis. Uncut penis.
Somebody's going to clip that.
Yeah, it's a song. It's for the people that... Wait, who are you rooting for in the Muzzy War?
Me? The Christians. I'm just waiting for them to fuck each other up so we can waltz in the last crusade and go, it's been ours the whole time, you pussies.
And then that Uber guy said he did an Uber share. You know what that is?
When he overshares information like a guy showed him his pierced dick.
It's not, but it should have been. Uber share is when like you can ask for a ride, but it might be less if they pick up somebody else on the way.
Okay.
So if you get someone else in the ride, it makes sense. It could be cheaper. So he was telling us that he did one for the first time, and this guy got it. And he I'll say light skin, but he said mulatto, which I have not heard that term in a long time.
My dad used it at Christmas dinner, and we had to explain to him it was not appropriate.
Why isn't it appropriate anymore? I don't know why that's bad.
I don't either. I just know you're not supposed to go describe Mariah Carey that way when you can't remember her name.
Oh, that mulatto chick in a dumb Christmas song.
That sings that stupid song.
How about old dumb tits over there with the mulatto skin? When I was growing up, Mariah Carey was hot as shit. Like, she was super hot.
One time I was locked in her wine cellar, and all I had for lunch was Captain Crunch. Remember that?
No.
Oh, Eminem wrote a diss track describing all of Mariah Carey's house that she doesn't show off on Cribs when Nick Cannon tried to diss him. And then he cut together a bunch of voicemails she left about fucking.
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about Nick Cannon. I mean, I know he was in that movie with drums, and I know that he's in that show that may help Matt Rife and that Irish lady be white people who yell at black people. And then I know that he hosted like a talent show. And I know he has 89 kids. That's all I know.
Just to clarify, that Irish lady is Maddie Smith, and in my one appearance on Rap, I got one good line out, and she slam dunked it in my face afterwards. She's funny as shit.
She's fucking quick. She's great.
Yeah, she's fucking great. That might be Nick Cannon's best contribution, but Eminem was fucking Mariah, and then Nick Cannon started fucking Mariah.
Eminem had sex with Mariah Carey?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I
Well,
know all the scoops?
Technically, he didn't actually fuck her. They started dry humping and he ejaculated prematurely onto
Wait,
her
how do you
stomach,
know
and she had to
this?
go get a towel because Eminem put this all in the diss track.
Yeah, but
he was like,
he makes stuff up. He also
No,
said
he
he had a
didn't.
guy in his trunk.
But then he cut together all the voicemails of that Mariah Carey left on his phone, like, and mixed it into the song. He put it all out there.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why
He
does
said,
he have all
maybe
the
it's
voice track?
embarrassing me, it's embarrassing you, but don't you dare say it isn't true. I was going to stop at 16. That was 32.
I know I was telling a story about something, but I don't have a clue where we are anymore. Oh, mulatto. Anyway, get the fuck ADHD here. So like, what? In my head, I'm like, how the fuck did we get to Eminem and Captain Crunch? But so the guy's like, oh, he's the mulatto guy, and he was drinking out of a paper bag. I mean, there was a bottle in the paper bag, not just liquid in a paper bag, but he was drinking out of a
He
brown
was
paper
a
bag.
magician.
Yeah,
The mulatto magician.
a magician. But so he was in the back, and then another guy got in, and the guy, but he was so mulatto, he almost looked white, I guess. And this guy didn't notice at first, and he goes, "What up, my?" And then the driver pauses. He stops the car. He turns around to me, my son, and goes, "I'm pausing because right there the man said the N word." We're like, "Yeah, we got it. We
figured
got
that's
it." I go,
what-
you, by the way, you missed our turn. Can you maybe stop the N word story for a minute and then like drive and then get us home and then you can tell us his tale? And then he was like, and then they started to drink so much they started fighting in the back seat, but they kind of like slapping each other. And then they were friends again, I guess. And then one just got out, and then the other one, was the one who told him about the pierced penis. That was his story he told us, and I was like, okay, that's fun. And he goes, and I think I almost trafficked a woman. And I was like, all right, can you tell that one? That's a better story. But he just
3 stars.
took a young girl to the woods and let her out. He's like, you sure this is where you want to be? She's like, yeah, I want to be here, I think. And then he drove away, and he goes, I feel bad. He came back, and she goes, get out of here. And he left her. Did he Is he who's the piece of shit in that story? Is it the girl for paying for her own Uber to be trafficked? Is it the guy for driving into the woods and leaving her in the woods? Is it the guy who sets up his trafficking in the woods? Is it Jeffrey Epstein for dying and not having a cool island? Now people have to traffic in Ubers.
The piece of shit's the Uber driver.
Why?
Because you attract a certain energy. Like, you can't just drop a kid off in the woods and assume everything's going to be cool. Thank you. That is a crime, Justin.
I think everything I said was a crime. Being a mulatto magician, that's a crime.
That's just a good way to get across the border. He disappeared.
Uber share. Hold on, this guy's saying this. So, but Bobby, how was your Christmas? Was it festive?
It was Christmas, man.
It was Christmas.
I haven't had the Christmas spirit in a while, you know?
But you didn't get to see family and friends and loved ones and get out of their house for a little bit and shit like that?
I mean, I got to go home and see my family.
Yeah, don't you like that?
That might... I sometimes.
No.
Here's the thing.
You're being rebellious, but you love your parents, right?
Here's the thing. Nothing quite reminds you the cost of chasing a dream like Christmas. When you see your family and their well-established lives and their relationships and their steadiness and their growth in career, and you go, oh, maybe I can't believe in the miracle of Christmas because I'm living every day like one's on the way.
I guess I get that at your age now. But if you keep going and become just a little bit more of a failure like me, when you're there and everyone else has better established jobs, they realize that I'm happier than they are. And yeah, I'm broker, but I'm so much happier. Like they're like older at their points where like I've done all these things. Yeah, we're financially happy, but I didn't do any of the shit I wanted to do. You know, so like they want to know a lot more about what I'm doing than want to share what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And like, I realized along the way, like, I'm not living life to be a billionaire. I'm living it to be a good person and to enjoy what I'm doing. And I think sometimes when you reflect back on the year, you realize maybe that's not how you spent your time.
Speaking of living your life weird, I met someone who was black and Chinese. So what's that known as, a Blasian? But they weren't hot. I've never met that combination to not work ever. It's always been hot. Black and Chinese, or black and Asian, not just Chinese.
Because typically they don't like each other.
They do in Rush Hour.
No, they start out hating each other in that
But
movie.
at the end, they become buds.
Right. But that's because they're so good at crime fighting that they can overcome it. I think you have to be a super hot Asian and a super hot black person in order for your attractiveness to overcome the racism that lies within.
Who's supposed to blink? You, Bobby? Oh no. Black and Shink. Blink.
I was just going to let you get there. I kind of got it. I was just going to let you figure it out.
It's kind of funny that he did black and then he did the race. I guess it would be Nink. Right? If you're going to do it right.
I like Jink.
See, to me, that would be a Jewish one.
That'd be kink.
Black and Ease.
That'd be kink.
The Chinese, they're a motherfucker. Shanghai and shit. Shanghai. But, yeah, she was fat. And she was dark black, like purple, and then she was also Chinese. In all the
They
comics,
call her Charlie Murphy.
Go ahead. Sorry. What?
They called her Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy. Yes. The comics, when they all doing their crowd work in front of me, they were like asking that, but then they wouldn't really do anything with it. Not that I was gonna do it. I'm like, ask more. I'm like, we didn't really let her talk, and I'm like. Bobby's echo sounds kind of like the Lou Gehrig baseball speech.
Good. Hopefully my future lies the same as his.
What disease do you think they'd name after you? The gout?
In the joke I do, I say cocaine, but I don't really do that much.
Cocaine's not a disease.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, so I go,
drug.
That's how you know you made it in life, if they name the thing after you that kills you. Like Lou Gehrig's disease, half the time I don't even remember the fucking name. If we start calling cocaine Bobby, I've done it, folks.
That's why they should call O.J. Simpson Nicole Brown Simpson.
They do.
They don't.
I do. Nicole Simpson Brown.
You never did till right now.
I agree.
So yeah, I don't know what your echo is, but I don't hear it. But whatever.
I think it's coming through your computer, and then back through my ears and my microphone, and then back through your computer.
Then how the fuck do I stop that?
I'm just gonna switch mics.
I don't. What am I supposed to be? Technology Jones? Anyway, black Chinese lady. While you're doing that, black Chinese lady was big and fat. So I said, "What's your name, Precious?" And she even laughed at that. And I also asked if she ever does the accent.
Black Chinese lady would be a Technology Jones.
I'm sorry. What? I didn't know you were jumping in talking while I was talking. So
the Chinese lady that's
Yes.
black would be a Technology Jones.
Technology Jones. Yes.
That's what you said. I thought.
I don't know,
but
but maybe we're crossing time or something. It feels like we're talking over each other each time, so it's my bad. But that's why I'm missing out. My apologies. But Technology Jones would be good. What was it? What? Like, this is fun if I could say it. Temporalosis. Oh, that'd be your disease.
Because I cough a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if we go with the temporalosis. I mean, Bobby fever. I like. Catch it.
What's the disease where you're attracted to crazy chicks and then you blow your own brains out? That's what we should name after me.
Oh, Kurt Cobain disease.
Oh, god damn it! I'm up against Cobain.
Yeah,
Never
you're not going to be
more famous
Cobain
than him.
Do you know this year, 2024, will be 30 years he's dead? April 8th.
30 years since she murdered him.
Yeah, but I didn't say he killed himself, so I don't go with that. I'm not like you. You know more stuff than me.
I don't know anything about that.
Someone say cocaine. Why is everybody saying cocaine? I've never done cocaine.
Because I mentioned that's what would kill me.
No, you. I know, Bobby. I'm just trying to.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I do know that you mentioned cocaine earlier. I gave you credit then because you remember you literally. I said, "What disease would you have?" And you said cocaine. I said, "It's not." If I go back to the stenographer and I read the notes, which by the way, I found out a fun fact: stenographers all have drinking problems. Did you know that?
Did they really? Oh yeah, because they have to keep their hands steady.
Yeah, but to me that would mean you don't drink. But I guess if you drink, if you're an alcoholic, then you need alcohol to steady. So you have to be an alcoholic first to have the shaky hands, right? A regular stenographer isn't nervous.
I think they have to go so fast that you can't be precise without a little vodka in the system.
I would think that would slow me down.
I don't know.
I don't type well as it is, but I haven't drank in years. But if I drank and typed, I think it'd be worse typing.
Yeah, I've found as of late when I drink, I just turn into a poet, and it's not good. Not like a good kind.
Give us some drunken poetry.
Not like maybe a poet's heart, but like just say things like I don't have any good examples.
Oh, but you say like loving, sensitive things, or things come from the heart.
Yeah, and I talk in metaphor.
Ooh, that's fun.
I think at one point I may have said something like, "I'm like the little drummer boy. All I have to give is my time." I don't know. Stupid.
You said that to a woman, or you just said that out loud, willy nil?
Both.
When you're drunk, is that your best time to pick up bitches, or are you good at sober game?
I don't think I'm good at all. I think I'm kind of like Michael.
But you've
Phelps
had more
playing
success
basketball.
one place or the other.
Usually sober.
I would think so.
I have a naturally drunk personality, so I say stupid shit sober all the time.
Does that mean dry drunk?
No, dry drunk's like you're angry because you're not drinking.
Oh.
Naturally drunk personality is like I think, wear my emotions on my sleeve. Like you and I were sitting in a green room and we didn't know each other. I would be like, "Hey man, what's up?" and just start a conversation. Whereas other people might need some social lubrication to feel that comfortable.
Wait, that doesn't make you drunk. That just makes you like a social butterfly or some kind of bitch.
Fair enough.
Not in a bad way. No, I talk to people, but that's just because we're in a room together doing a show. Like I don't know how. I guess it depends on what you think alcohol does to you. Like when I drank, it didn't help me talk more. I already talked a lot.
Yeah, I think you're a naturally drunk person. That's why you don't really need alcohol. But like, think about Dan Brown, who would be in his own head, just kind of sitting there without engaging, without some alcohol in his system.
Dan Brown messaged me today when I was on the air. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, everybody liked it. If you were fucking weak people. Dan Brown messaged. I was on the radio today, and the fucking Boys in Backertown came on. And every time they come on, I get mad. I shouldn't say anything, but like, I have to. I don't like the Boys are back in town. And I was doing a thing about New Year's Eve, and I was like, I don't care what you're doing for New Year's as long as the fucking boys aren't coming back in town. Fuck the boys. The boys suck. Boys are stupid. And he messaged me, goes, "Stupid boys." I'm like, yeah, boys are terrible. He's like, boys are dumb. And that was our back and forth. So Dan's real busy with Amazon right now because it's the craziest time of the year. Christmas, and then now because people get gift cards and now they want to buy mad shit. Did you get any Amazon gift cards?
Yeah, my sister got one to buy an audio book, and I said I don't read, and she was like, "Why? Because you get distracted." I was like, "No, because reading's for gays." She was like, "Just buy something with the money then."
Is that why the gays are smarter than us? Because they read?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Are you gay?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah.
But you're pretty smart.
Yeah, but that's just so I can beat them at their own game.
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 How was your Christmas? What'd you do? Did you see your fam?
It was really nice. I got the my son's back from college. My daughter was around. I mean, I saw everybody in spurts. There was like a lot of like. I think that's what was nice about it. Like for Christmas Day itself, I had my mom and her boyfriend over. My kids were with their mom. But then at night, when my daughter went back to her place, my mom and I went to her house so they could see each other too. So, but Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I was bouncing around. I saw my dad and all my sisters and nieces and nephews and stuff there on Christmas Eve morning. I spent Christmas Eve night with my son. So it was like great because I wasn't stuck just at one spot, but seeing all types of people all over the place. And then I ended the night hanging out with the girl I've been seeing. And so that was nice. And I went right to the radio this morning. So 3 days of just like
on
fun and
Christmas. My man.
What?
You're hanging out with the girl on Christmas.
Oh, it just worked schedule-wise. Yeah. When you're my age, that holidays don't matter.
Oh, they always matter. As I was explaining to the bartender at the Yonkers Comedy Club, if you aren't getting blackout drunk Christmas Eve, listening to the Pogues' Fairy Tale of New York and sending a text to an ex while you're crying, what are you even doing?
I don't know what any of those things are. So, what's the Pogues?
The Pogues is a punk band.
Okay, I'm not punk guy.
Shane McGowan just died recently.
Oh, I saw things about that. I thought it was just some. I thought it was like what's his name, the UFC guy's friend.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I think he was friends with him probably because I think all Irish people know each other.
Yeah, I'm so straight, I'll bang you in the butt, Justin. How about that? That's how straight I am. Straight A's. Right near straight A. Yeah, I'm straight. I'm not fancy enough to be gay. And also, I hate cock. Cock is dumb.
But then the Pogues, they're the punk band, right?
Yes.
They wrote this song, and it's not really a Christmas song. It just takes place on Christmas Eve, but when else are you going to listen to it? Called The Fairy Tale of New York. And it has some of my favorite lines of A Christmas Carol, like, you're an old slut on junk, and to which she responds, you're a cheap, lousy maggot, no good faggot. And any Christmas song that can work that in there is a good one for me.
That's good rhyming.
Yeah, the Pogue, I mean, Shane, for being an alcoholic, brilliant writer.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of punks were, but I just don't like punk music.
No, I get it, man. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But then, so you listen to that, you get sad, and send a text to somebody, you know. It's really like a Hail Mary moment. You're not expecting
need music
a completion.
to do a Hail Mary?
It inspires the emotion. Like, so you're going to be crying by the middle of the song. And then that's where you tap into that for the text.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not really I don't drink, and I'm not really a shoot one for the stars guy. I just, I got to take this Hail Mary. I read a room pretty good, so if I know when, it's supposed to be doing it, when it's not, you know what I mean? So I don't take fluties.
That's fair. I choose to not mock the tightrope walker who falls because I think he's attempting something great, but I get it.
Who's mocking anyone?
No one.
Wasn't mocking. I just said I don't do that.
You're the ultimate man, Pat. I love you.
Not making me the ultimate man. I'm actually just safer. You're getting sensitive for some reason. I was just saying I didn't do that.
Sensitive? Who's being sensitive? I'm just saying you're the ultimate
No, you were like,
man.
oh, I'm mocking, and then I'm not mocking. You're like, oh, you're the ultimate man. You do not believe I'm the ultimate man.
No, I 100% believe you're an ultimate man. I think I'm a Superman.
Now you said, I mean it was the. Now I'm just amongst other ultimate men.
I'm just making a Nietzsche reference.
Oh, we're not gonna know Nietzsche here. Fight! Look at this guy. Who is this guy?
I love Justin.
But yeah, I that's just never been my style, and I think that does come from like in comedy. I have no issue taking a swing. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I'll fail all day to make something work, but with something like that, it's like I don't know, because I think when it takes two to tango, I don't have the faith to make it work on a fail. But when it's myself, I'm like, oh yeah, anything that'll make me better at it. So that's why I wouldn't take that swing.
Yeah, I kind of find it fun swinging and missing.
Only if
sometimes.
you hold my nuts, Terry.
I had a show the night before Christmas Eve, and I was a little drunk, and the audience was literally half the white people were on one side. There were 7 white people. I'm so sensitive. And then the black people were on the other side. And so I just walked up and was like, well, we got the Mason-Dixon line. And then I would tell a joke, and the black people would be laughing and be like, hey, if you don't laugh, you're racist, white people. And just swung for the fences. I told one girl to shut the fuck up, Velma. Nobody wants to fuck you. Just drunk swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
And afterwards, the 2 young comedians were like, dude, what? That was great. How did you know that would work? I was kind of hoping it didn't. There's 8 people in the audience, and they're not going to remember this tomorrow. Just have fun.
Yeah, for a lot of people that don't do comedy, the week in between, or the week before Christmas and then the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve can be a fun thing. It's very busy, but it's not a great show because that audience, for the most part, is not a comedy audience. They're just out to celebrate the new year, so they don't want to listen. So you might get paid more money and you might have a lot more fun, but overall, by after the after party thing, than you would a normal comedy show because people want to hang. But it's not good. But the 2 weeks before, if you're not doing private parties, I mean, people are putting on shows and just trying to especially guys who put on monthly shows or weekly shows, are trying to keep that thing going for the bar, but they know that's going to be the week one. So anyone that does come out, that's the thing. At least you might get a place that usually holds 40 people on a small little show. They might get 7 that day, but those 7 want comedy. So at least that's what's kind of And it's people that don't do comedy are like, oh my god, 7 people. Comedy's comedy. It's like we do a podcast in front of 7 fucking people. I don't. Having fun working on material, it's worth it, and you're getting paid anyway. But like, it's worth it to do those. It's those ones in the summertime where you tell the place, hey, don't fucking do comedy. People want to be outside. Don't fucking do it here. It's like, we're going to do it. It's going to be great. Our people will come, and they get 6 people, and these people are miserable because everyone else is having fun outside. That's not fun. That's the worst fucking thing to do. But like, wintertime, people getting ready for the holidays, those 7 will sound like 14, if you know what I'm fucking saying.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, to be honest, more than 10, and I get nervous.
Oh, happy birthday, Terry Nee. I don't know if it's real, but all right.
He said thanks, so I'm going to assume he is. Happy birthday.
Well, I would always say thanks to someone's happy birthday to me, too. And then I guess the way we celebrate his birthday is saying that Black Lives Matter from Stephen Bull.
That's a great point.
There are people who go out to see a show, and then there are people who go out to laugh. They are not the same. Sometimes they're the same, but I know what you're saying.
The best is in the summer when it's still daylight outside and the bar you're performing at has like an outdoor deck and you can hear people laughing and giggling and you're like, fuck, nobody wants to be in here.
Or they have you go inside, and on the deck, they get a whole band. And they're like, no, it's soundproof. It's not fucking soundproof. The guy has an amp.
Or you're at a casino where you have to walk by all the outdoor bars to get to the dingy lit comedy club and you're like, no one's making it down this hallway. I almost didn't.
Right. And if they do make it all the way down there, it's because they're not good around other people, and you don't want them in your audience. They're unfuns. They're nothing but a bunch of ninks. That's what they are. But
even worse, kink.
Yeah, so I mean, but this is the week also where I'm on radio all week, starting this. I did it for Christmas Eve, and I was on today. I'll be on all week because this is the week that everybody does fucking vacation, all the real radio people. So I got to sit in and stuff. But what's fun is they're called prize pigs, is what they call them in radio, I guess. It's the people that just want to win prizes all the time. So they know the times prize happen. Now, we're not doing prizes this week in contests when I'm filling in for the guy because it's his thing. But they don't know that, so they just call up and go, what'd I win? And I'm like, there's no contest. Like, what's the word? I'm like, there's no fucking word. Like, and they're just drunk yelling they want to win something.
You should tell them they've won something and then send them on a mission.
Terry Nee said it's 4 months till his birthday. And everyone's wishing him happy birthday.
Well, here's to hoping you make it, Terry. Happy birthday.
He'll make it. He has a colonoscopy every 3 days. That guy's fine.
I know. I'm hoping I don't.
No, he's getting cleaned out. But but overall, back to the thing, I had a really good Christmas. I enjoyed it. I've been having fun. I've had a good last couple weeks. I've been enjoying this. This year was a good year. Like 2023 was good. I'm happy to move into 2024. I enjoyed myself.
Can I ask you a very important question about your Christmas?
Yeah.
So yesterday being Christmas, right? You hung out with this girl.
At the very end of the night.
Okay, so today, things still good, or did she give your heart away?
No, that's for gay men. Once again, I'm not gay. That's a George Michael song.
I prefer the Misfit cover.
And, by the way, I think you're right, but when the wording is, last Christmas I gave my heart, and the very next day. So the very next day from when he wrote the song, or the very next day from last Christmas? Because that's weird that he's saying last Christmas, and then the very next day. Why would he just say, all this shit happened last year?
I don't think anything happened. I think literally it was Christmas, and he was like, I love you. And the guy was like, I love you too. He let him fuck him in the butt. Then the very next day he was like, nah, I love somebody else.
So why didn't he sing that? Last Christmas, I gave you my butt. You came in my face, and you called me a slut. Like, that's a more fun song.
There is a cover version where it's last Christmas, I gave you my pussy. But the very next day, you told me you weren't gay. This year,
you're still fucking queer.
I'm gonna
and
fucking
I think
queer,
you're all
yeah.
so special.
I was always a big fan of the car version. Last Christmas, I gave you my car. Very next day, you get. So this year, I'm getting a Chevy Frontier.
Is that a song?
I thought it was the words when I was a kid.
See, Dominic's good. Last Christmas, I gave you my hole. You opened your mouth, and I inserted my pole. This year, I'm making you queer, and you're wearing a helmet because you're special. That's a fun song. Clip that. There goes my career. Goodbye. It's a positive song. Oh, Terry D, no polyps. Yeah. Good job, no polyps. That was like, were you alive for Press My Luck? That
No
game
whammy,
show
no
with the
whammy,
whammies?
stop.
Yeah. No polyps, big whammy. Like, that'd be a fun game. With colonoscopy?
Yeah, although when you say stop, is it because it's too deep?
I don't know. Is it too deep? They go real deep, right? I was on sleep. I don't know what they did, but I'm sure they went deep.
I don't think they go shallow.
They gotta start shallow. You can't just nesty plunge your way in.
There's a reason I'm not an ass doctor.
Well, it's not just the part that you don't like ass. It's also that you're not a doctor.
I could have been a doctor.
We all could have been shit. You know what I mean? I could have been a kung fu master if I started early enough.
That's pretty much one of the lines of the Pogue, where he's like, I could have been someone, and then she goes, so could anyone.
Yeah, fuck you, Pope.
Pogues.
Oh, I thought you said Pope.
Nah.
I thought you were saying that's the line from the Pope. I'm like, when the fuck did the Pope say that? Someone else like, fuck you, Pope. And I'm like, all right. Someone got wild with the Pope. How do you
Justin,
how do you
I
become
am not
Pope?
an atheist. All the Cardinals vote for you.
No, but to get into that vote, like to get there, where you that's an archbishop. Is that what that is? Is that before Pope?
No, that's the Super Cardinals.
Super Cardinals.
I forget what they're called. It's like an elite group of Cardinals.
So
The
it's regular
Archbishops-
Cardinals, and you go. It's kind of like the Navy SEALs. So you're gonna be Cardinals, and then you be Super Cardinals.
I think so, yeah. There's like 13 of them.
You don't start as a priest, right?
Yeah, you technically start as a deacon.
Okay.
Then you
I know
become a
those.
priest. So like a priest is anyone who practices in the church.
But
And
deacons
this
can
is all-
fuck. Priests can't fuck.
Right. Deacons can fuck if they have a wife and kid. Or if they have a wife before they become a deacon. But if they become a deacon before they're engaged, then SOL.
Really?
Yeah.
Loophole.
Yeah. And then, so then you become a priest. Now, there are two types of priests. There's the priests that work in a church, and then there are the missionaries. Missionaries never become cardinals. So the priests who work in a church, normal priest. Then if you're in charge of your church, you're a monsignor.
Oh, Monsignor.
Then the bishop's in charge of all the churches in an area. So like the Bishop of Harrisburg. Then you would have the Archbishop of Pennsylvania. That would be like who sees, and then you got the within the region. Then there would be like the best bishop in the United States would probably be a cardinal, and then sends a delegate to like the super cardinals.
So when do you start figuring out your policy? What ranking are you like? I might be Pope.
I
Super
think,
Cardinal?
well, kind of like the Dalai Lama.
Not personally.
So the Dalai Lama, they find a kid and they're like, oh, he's reincarnated. So like whoever the super cardinals molest are on the fast track to becoming Pope.
No.
No, I don't. I would imagine. So the real answer is kind of like there are colleges. There are, what's it called? Seminaries. So like there's a good seminary, there's the Harvard of seminaries, and then there's like the community college of seminaries.
Did you know that, Bobby, that the Pope played drums for Kiss in the 90s?
I'm cool with that. This new Pope just said gays can get married.
How about that Pope that was like German? That guy was fun.
No, he was like the head molester.
Just the head?
I mean, not from what I heard. That man was the head of the snake, the tail of the snake, and the middle section nobody likes to talk about.
So wait, back to when you said the deacon thing, and I understood the loophole. Okay, but let's say he was married and he got to become deacon. He can't become a priest, though, right?
No,
Because he'd have to get divorced. And even that can't do it because he can't be divorced. He'd have to get annulled.
No, he can't become. But if
You
his
only get
wife
married in the
died,
eyes of the church once.
if his wife died, he could then become a priest. There are a couple of dudes who did that.
I think it's
Pretty
weird
fucked
that
up. Like your wife dies of cancer, and you go, "Oh, this is God. He wants me to be a priest." Clearly,
yeah, that's what he wants. Now he want me to go fuck more. That might be what he's doing. We killed her because now you're not having a good time. Go fuck more. I don't get the whole being a priest thing. I get it back in the day, they were rock stars. But now, I mean, everyone thinks you're a child molester. Everyone. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
most of them aren't. But like everyone thinks you're a child molester, and if you're trying, like, I'll prove them wrong. I won't fuck kids. Yeah, that's not a big accomplishment. To not fuck kids is not a huge deal.
no, not at all. And like, they pick you out young. They're the molestable kids are the ones that are like, I think you have a calling from God. It's not a good system.
Yeah, it's one of the worst systems.
And
you don't need
a
any
lot of
qualification,
people in the
right? You don't
chat
have
are
to go to
asking
school.
why I like the gay pope better than the other one. The other one changed all the fucking language and like moved the pedophiles around and just made the situation fucking worse. So yeah, this one's a little weird on the gays, but at least he's not as weird on fucking the kids. And
What do you mean
the
it's
more
weird
you
on the gays?
like allowing gays to be blessed but not really married, like he won't come out and just be like, gay marriage is fine. Priests can get married so they stop fucking kids. Like he won't go the full length. So he's a little weird on those areas, but yeah, if you open the church up to everybody, you're going to stop only having pedophiles as priests. Let's be
They
honest.
gotta
In the
flip it.
1800s, there was basically two choices. You were either straight and you were going to have a wife and kids, or you were a priest. Gay wasn't an option. So then you get all these people who have these gay feelings that are constantly around little boys. You don't know better. It's literally creating a... So yes, I am for opening up the church. And that's religious politics
farther
with
than
Bobby
you.
and Pat.
I'll go farther than you. I think it should be flipped 100%, and the next pope should come in and go, just gays get married. Because gay people like weddings way better. They're fucking fantastic and beautiful and all that shit with the fucking flowing outfits and all that kind of a big old party. That should be who it is. The gays want to get married. They still care about marriage at this point because it just got legal a couple years ago. So they would go get married more. You can make way more money. They'll spend more money on shit, fancy stuff. And the straights don't want it anymore. So make it illegal for straights to get married.
I don't really care what they do as long as no fucking women are involved. That's the one thing they've done.
That's gay.
No.
When you don't involve any women, that's what gay is.
That's smart, allowing not women to make choices. We allowed
Well,
women to
women
make
make good
choices like
choices.
we're
We
American.
don't
No,
think
they
women
aren't.
make
Name
good
one
choices.
good choice a woman's made.
One good choice. So many choices. To have me, thanks, Mom. I'm pretty pumped
That
about
wasn't
that.
her choice.
It was her choice.
Your
It's
dad
her
could've pulled
body.
out. Your dad could have pulled out.
No, he can't. You haven't met my dad. That guy.
No, there are a lot of oats.
That guy is putting. That guy blast kids more than segregation, like with a hose. Like he's just ready to fucking go. But like, no. A lot of we talk about women and men. It's not genders that make decisions. It's folk, individual folk. By the way, speaking of the word folk, I watched White Christmas on Christmas Day. You ever seen that movie? They called women folk. My mom was like, "What?" She hadn't seen it before. She's like, "I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm bringing that back. Here's the women folk."
Yeah. All these women folk who 1 week a month can't make rational decisions. I don't know.
Have you seen that movie?
No, I have not.
So it starts off they're at war. You know, remember back then, like they'd be at war, but they'd also sing about wars, so it seemed like gay. So like they're there, and this guy's like, he's the general. So Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye come out, and they're like, "You're the general, and we love you. You're all fucking good at being the general." So I turn, he's singing this song, they're all dancing around. I turn to my mom, and I'm like, Did they have a song for Hitler too? She's like, "No." Well, if they're gonna sing to this general, they're just be like, "Hitler is sweet, he's doing good things." You know what I mean? Like for that side, at least.
I'm sure they did. And to be honest, I don't know if you've heard a lot of the German music. It was probably fire.
Yeah, and they dress sweet, but like, so then you're dancing around, but then they leave the army, and then right away, Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye are like, "Let's just have a 2-man dancing around group." So they go touring, and they're just fucking dancing around and singing. They meet these two women, George Clooney's mom and another lady, and George Clooney's mom and another lady have one fucking song. and it's called Sisters because they're sisters, and they just go sisters, fucking sisters, and we're sisters, and then they sing it, and everyone goes, "Hey!" And then the show's over. Like people bought tickets, they're out, and they're dressed up. It's one fucking song, but then of course Bing and Danny Kaye see him and go, "Hey, what's up with these bitches? We should hook up with them." Well, Danny Kaye was. Bing's like, "No time for bitches. I'm dancing around and stuff." Then they get on a train for no reason, which is supposed to be going from Florida to New York. But at one point, they're like, well, these bitches want to go to Vermont, so let's just go there. And I guess the train just on its own just went to Vermont. And they're just the Florida Train Express, we all know. And it just goes there. And then they go to this inn with shit they're supposed to be performing. And at the place performing, of course, owning the place, is the general from the fucking war. And they're like, what are you doing here? Why are you a janitor? And they just kept saying that. Why are you a janitor? A janitor. Oh my God, you're a... It was kind of fucked up towards janitors. And he's like, I'm not just a janitor. I also own the place. And they go, ew, a landlord? Which, by the way, he owns huge property in Vermont. That's not ew. You know what I mean? It's pretty good. Even back then, that's some good shit. New England property. So then they're like, he's like, things are going poorly. And they're like, all right, so why don't we bring our fucking show here? And we'll bring, because we get all the bitches, and we'll bring our show. And then at the same time, Bing's trying to fuck this one lady, George Clooney's mom. And then like another lady's trying to fuck Danny Kaye. But at one point, one woman couldn't sleep. And this is the part I want to get to with you. You know, you and I both have anxiety and we're riddled with stress a lot of times in life. Sometimes you can't sleep.
I'm pretty chill all the time.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so we're all we're all fucked up in our heads, and you medicate with weed, and I try my best to do what I can. And I didn't know this. The woman said to the other one, "You know what helps relax you? Right before you go to bed, if you eat a ham and cheese sandwich and slug down some buttermilk." What the fuck meal is that? First of all, who's just got ready buttermilk? And they're fucking get buttermilk and ham and cheese. And the girl goes, I'm going to go get some. And then Bing's just fucking chilling in the bar, but it's closed. And he goes, oh, you want some fucking ham and cheese and buttermilk? He just goes behind the bar. And the thing is just ham and cheeses and a fucking thing of buttermilk. Just pours her a glass. Then he fucking sings her songs like, buttermilk, I'm going to put my fist in you, whatever. And he dances around. And then they just don't even drink the buttermilk. And then there's always some bitch who works there, and she's like, I was over listening on the phone, and I heard Bing Crosby's going to try to embarrass the general, but he wasn't. She just overheard like some stupid bitch and lied and was wrong. So now they tell the women, don't fuck Bing, because Bing's fucking around with the general and being a dick. So the bitch is like, fuck you, I'm out. She just leaves to New York. Bing zings to New York and goes, bitches, what are you doing? I'm fine. They come back and they go, by the way, let's bring all the military with us that everyone ever served for this guy. Come to the place, and now he's singing White Christmas, and they make children pose. That's the movie. It sucks. That's White Christmas.
Yeah, that's fucking terrible.
That's the worst, and I told it better than anyone ever could. That's the worst movie.
There's one I watched a couple years ago where, like, a woman pretends to be like the perfect wife and how to cook meals and everything, and this military.
This is the name of our
town.
episode, by the way.
I'm cool with that. Mein Cock? Sucking mein Cock?
No, it's Mein Cock. That is the name
Cock?
of the episode now. How am I gonna spell cock so it's okay?
K-A-W-K?
Yeah, here you go.
K-K-K.
No, we can't do K's, dude. We can't do K. K-A-W-K-K. I'm sorry, go ahead. Thank you, Steven.
No, but like, so this military hero goes, and his one request is to spend Christmas with this like housekeeping woman, but she's really single, and then they fall in love, and that's more realistic than the military. The most realistic thing you described was the general is now a janitor because he's got PTSD from the war.
It was like, but they were shaming this motherfucker so bad. Like, a janitor. Like, they're just dancing dudes. Like, that's not better than being in the army. Dudes that dance?
Yeah, they're lucky they were allowed to be in the army being dudes that dance back then. They asked and they told.
Yeah. They were allowed. See, to me, that's gayer than anything else you can do in the military. But they back then, was like, that's everybody was like, oh, I'm a tough guy and fucking tap dancing.
remember in the other guys where Mark Wahlberg can do perfect ballet, and he's like, "Yeah, we learned to do it to make fun of all the dancing fags." That's like what the military was. They're like, we could dance. We're so tough.
Watch how tough we are. We're like Gregory Hines and Jean-Claude Van Damme. We're all fruits that do splits.
I'm so straight I can fuck this guy in the ass. Like that's how they. Yeah.
You want to see how straight I am? Open your mouth. So straight I am. Straight into your face. Nothing straighter than two men having sex. That's the most men. That's manly stuff. Two guys.
They do say if you watch pornography with more than one dude, your testosterone spikes.
Who are they?
Scientists. Which brings me to my next point. Science is a lie.
First of all, worst scientist ever. When he's like, hey, here's my experiment. Dude, you've tried to do this experiment like 80 times. Stop doing this experiment.
Oh my God, I can't believe we made it 55 minutes without me bringing this up. Did you see Terrence Howard's address to Oxford?
No. Micropenis himself?
Terrence Howard.
Micropenis.
Right? What, he has a micropenis?
Dude, that was a whole big thing years ago when whatchamacallit came out. When he lost War Machine, everyone's like, well, he also has a micropenis. And there was all these pictures out about it.
Okay, well, apparently he's also a genius.
He doesn't have to focus on fucking because he has a micropenis.
So there's this thing called the flower of life, and it's a design found throughout like all these ancient civilizations, and it's a bunch of figures on top of each other. And his whole presentation is basically he's going to explain this to Oxford and how he figured it out. And then he goes, I thought I'd have a projector. And just does not have any of the material ready to go, and just kind of like lies his whole speech.
But wait, what was the stuff on the projector that he thought he was going to have?
He never really explained, and he was like, I thought you'd be able to see all this bigger, and like just kind of lies. And then they ask questions, and he just doesn't answer the questions.
Is he still acting anymore?
He acted like he did some research on the flower of life, dude. It was so clearly the energy of a kid who did not do the presentation trying to get out of it.
Did you ever do that?
Oh. No.
I had to do it one time. I said out loud, I didn't do the work. I don't have anything. And the teacher was trying to embarrass me. So you're going to go up there and you're going to tell us about that book anyway. So it was Catcher in the Rye. And I was like, I just talked about two Jewish men who played baseball. And that was it for like 3 minutes, made stuff up. And she's like, that's all wrong. I go, yeah, I don't know the fucking book. I told you I didn't read the book. She's like, yeah, but you should have known. I'm like, why would I know? If I didn't read it, there's no movie, and it's stupid.
You should have just stood up there and been like, must impress Jody Mitchell. Must impress. Isn't that who they... Wasn't the Catcher in the Rye what inspired that dude to shoot somebody?
I also never saw... No. I think that's Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. Jody Mitchell.
And I think...
Better to kill
didn't
for.
Ronald Reagan inspire...
No,
Am I confusing those? I thought Ronald Reagan was the reason why Jodie Foster... No. The guy who wanted to fuck Jodie Foster shot Ronald Reagan.
Because of you read Catcher in the Rye and it told him to do it.
Yeah, but then Jodie Foster was like in the book, I guess, but not in the... I don't know what she had to do with it.
He wanted to impress her, and by reading Catcher in the Rye, he thought shooting the president was how to get her. What's even crazier is now that he's out of prison, he makes music.
Right. I know that.
And Jodie commented on it and was like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think... Who knows him? Like, I think Levy knows him. And was talking about trying to have him on stuff.
That would make sense.
Yeah, knows him now. I mean, not like they were buddies, but knew him enough or saw him on a show or something. But I think the weirder part was the Jodie Foster thing. She was like... That was like Taxi Driver time. Like, so she was... That guy was infatuated with Kid Her. When she was Kid Hooker. Which is probably a great rap name.
I don't have any more details on Jody Mitchell.
No, Jodie Foster. Jodie Mitchell has less detail. I think Jodie Mitchell was... I think you should know more about Jodie Mitchell because I think she sang like your boy Harry Chapin.
She taught somebody how to love in Love Actually, which is actually a terrible movie. Anybody ever heard that joke
I've heard
before?
it's a bad movie. I've never seen Love Actually.
Bill and Joanne like raved about it 4 years in a row, so I finally watched it last night, and it fucking sucks. The prime minister's gay. The president's gay. It's all
Our
gay.
president?
Yeah.
President of the United States.
He lets this British Prime Minister chump him.
No, but he's not. He's not a homosexual.
No, I
He's
don't
just
think there are
being
any
gay.
actual homosexuals in the movie. They all act just kind of like it.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that there's, in some world, the president of the United States and the prime minister of UK were both gay.
Luke Puke and the Vomits have a song, Hinkley Missed and I'm Pissed. That's pretty funny.
That's two good rhymes. Like, that's some great rhyming right there.
I rip and I rhyme. I rhyme and I rip.
Did you, oh, my cock is here. Yeah, it is. Finally, it took me an hour for my cock to get here. And now it's here.
We did it.
It's great. Have you ever flown a kite?
Yeah.
Like, as an adult?
No.
Would you?
No.
Are you... If you knew an adult that you trusted, but then you found out that regularly, like every weekend, no kids, he just flies a kite, would it change your perception of that man?
That man would no longer be in my life.
Yeah. I hate to say, I really am. I would think a lot about what that person's doing with the kite. Like,
Why?
that's saying...
Yeah, like, what energy do you have to not... Like, what emotions are you hiding to go fly that kite?
And you're very bipolar because you need to run and move, and then you need to stand the fuck still. Which is fucking weird.
Yeah, just, there are better uses of your time. I mean, I guess fishing's kind of like flying a kite in some ways.
It's
You're
not
just
as
sitting
much
there
work.
with something on a string.
I mean, fishing can take a long time to be there, but it's not as much work as having to get something in the air. At least once it's in the water, you're just hoping an animal... You're not catching anything with a kite.
That's a good point. You are then fighting nature. Okay. Thank you for convincing me otherwise.
Right, but yeah, I think they're on the same page. Any string event is dumb. If you're string battling, you're dumb. We're saying kite, dude. Like, we are saying kite. But like, even think about it. Like, the saying "go fly a kite" does not mean go have fun. It means fuck you.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah, go take a hike is the same thing.
Right. Go take a hike, go fly a kite. Fuck off.
Yeah, get away from me.
Go die.
And that's all they made the dude doing Mary Poppins, too, which just brings me to my next point. British people suck.
I used to... This was like a year ago. I think I would have argued with you, but I've been getting more and more on your side with this.
Well, you got to think about it. Like, the cool people came here.
Right.
Right? And then the cool people here got to stay in the U.S. again when the rest of the Canadians would decide to be cucks to England. So, like, you got the cool people divided by twice, and then it's just generations of that.
Right. And anyone that stayed that was cool, like I said, I don't listen to punk, but they became punk because they were the ones against rule. All the rules likers stayed. The rule breakers came here. So the only ones they had left were the ones that went into music, and then they kind of like forced that music out. So they always just force out the fun.
Yeah, they suck. They're on an island. Their food sucks. Even the British bands, not a lot of great coming out of there.
Nope.
The
Not in a
Beatles,
long time.
Overrated. Not bigger than Jesus.
And to be honest, and don't get me wrong, I do believe the Beatles are a great band. They're very talented people. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not that guy in any way. But I think we were more fired up about them because they weren't from here in a time when that was like taboo. If they were out now, I mean, they'd still write songs like now, but you know what I mean? They'd be the Killers. A very good band, but you wouldn't say the greatest band of all times.
No, exactly. And, like, Stiff Little Fingers is definitely better than Sex Pistols. So that beats punk. There's never been a great British rapper. We win that genre. Never been any great British jazz musicians. We win that genre.
Even their Logan
Don't even get me
Paul,
started.
KSI, is worse than our Logan Paul.
He got knocked out.
Yeah.
And
Their boxers are dumb.
they don't have any country music.
Nope.
So we win that.
They call French fries chips, and they call chips crisps.
And they call cookies biscuits.
Yep. And wank. Wank is dumb.
Yeah, because they are a bunch of wankers.
Yeah, but that's even not fun to say. Even when you say it, like, whatever. I mean, I guess they say cunt, so that's cool.
Yeah, and I do like that bloody's a curse word because I can only imagine it goes directly with cunt.
Yeah, they say it.
And I
And like
also don't like
grandmas
women
say
when
it.
they're bleeding. Yeah.
They get your bloody cunt brother off my lawn or whatever. Do they have lawns? I don't think they even have lawns there.
It's always raining.
Yeah, it's sad. Their teeth stink.
What's good about England?
Who's your top four? We'll end it on this. Mount Rushmore, famous, not royalty,
Okay.
British celebrities.
George Washington.
Now, are we? I'm on board with that. Unless we're saying once they come here and they become American first, like our symbol, do they no longer British? They don't claim him. We claim him. You know what I mean? So like,
Okay.
you have to say
Well,
British through and through.
You're not going to like the rest of my list.
Oh, like it, do it. Then we might just do another.
No, I was just kidding. Ben Franklin, Alexander Hamilton.
And Posh Spice.
I was going to say David Beckham. But same idea.
There you go. The whole Beckham family is one guy.
Beckham would definitely be on that list.
Okay. Do you think he's their best athlete ever? The best English athlete of all time?
I would say so, yeah, probably.
I mean, Frank Bruno, but he wasn't a better boxer than Beckham was. He wasn't the greatest boxer. He was good in a great time, but he wasn't that. What's his name? Well, Lennox Lewis. Like any boxers we name were not even the best because they were in a time of Tyson and Holyfield. You know what I mean? Even when they were champs, so it's not them. There's no football player or basketball player, soccer players that beat Beckham, as far as I know. So if you're gonna go athlete, it has to go Beckham. Who's the greatest actor as an English person?
David Tennant. No, I'm just kidding. What's the black dude's name?
Idris Elba might be the greatest
That's what I'm going with.
English black person of all times. But he might not be the best actor, but he's close. But there's going to be some
Weird,
kind
I
of
also think he's their best athlete.
What about Shakespeare? I mean, he's known. I know he's not the best, but he's known.
But, like, all right, it's kind of late in this podcast to open this wormhole, but was Shakespeare even a real person? A lot of people say he just plagiarized everything he did, which actually makes him pretty cool, and I'm back on board. Shakespeare's in for plagiarism.
Yeah, Shakespeare is their Helen Keller. Like, we don't know if it's really real, but when you put all the stories together, it seems pretty dope. Who is better, Shakespeare or Helen Keller?
Shakespeare.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, just because the retarded girl hit her glass ceiling doesn't mean we give her the best of all time. Not to use the metaphor because it's so on the nose, but if you win the Special Olympics, you're just the best retard.
Yeah. To be or not to be? That is the water.
Here, not here. Thee or not thee.
Nazi. Nice. On that note, Bobby, tell them what you're going to be.
Tomorrow I'm at Gino's birthday. Then the 28th I'm recording the Dojo, the Best of the Dojo albums getting recorded.
Who's in it?
Pedro Garcia's hosting.
Love
we
Pedro.
got Franco Danger's headlining.
Okay.
Who else? Danny Braff's on the show. Vic will be performing as well. So it's basically the Dojo regulars. Berg's going to be also throughout the show. I'm sure I'll hop on at some point. And then the 29th, I'm back there. I believe Mike Bichetti's going to do a guest spot. Karen Margolis is featuring, and Florentine's headlining. So
What's the
come on
29th?
out.
Is that a...
Friday.
Oh, that's Christmas. I was thinking January. My bad.
No, this is all still December. And then Shippensburg Comedy Club, New Year's Eve.
My New Year's Eve show is sold out, so you can't go to that. So that's the last show I have of the year. I'll be on the radio on WPLR Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and from 2 to 6. And then I'll be on New Year's Eve. I'll be on PLR from 10 to 3. And then New Year's Day, I'll be on PLR from 3 to 7. And then when Chaz and AJ return Tuesday morning on the 2nd, I'll be their guest. So I'll be on there as well. I'll be at the radio station a whole bunch. Got a bunch of shows lined up in January. Just hit me up to ask about those things. Please like, subscribe, all that fun things. Dude, everybody, Justin, Blackie, Who else? Terry Nee. We had a bunch of guys. Scott, Dominic, Kish. Everybody that jumped in, man. We really appreciate you guys jumping on. It was like kind of a last second thing. Did a little hour. I hope you guys all have a great fucking New Year. We might do one more, but I think our schedules are going to allow it, so this might be the last one. But if we do, we do. We'll just subscribe to the channel, and you get a notification that we do it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great New Year. And Bobby,
If you can't beat them, or if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.
yeah, go away.